from Theogony. Last Monday, September 26th, the school board voted in favor of one high school. TC students and staff spoke out in favor of this plan. Watch them here.
Good evening. My name is Peter Ballas, and I have the honor of being principal of T.C. Williams High School, which is comprised of the King Street campus, the International Academy, Minnie Howard, and Satellite. We stand 4,000 Titans strong and connected. We are the only public high school in the city of Alexandria, the most populous in the Commonwealth, and arguably one of the most famous high schools in the world, where we work tirelessly each and every day to ensure that every student succeeds. I'm here tonight to urge you to cast your vote for one high school. In my time in ACPS, one thing has always been a constant, is that TC is the heartbeat of the city. Voting for one high school will allow us to continue expanding our opportunities for Titans. We have over 400 offerings, and we're able to maximize student access, given our ability to align programming. Over the past 2 years, we have worked very hard to make sure all of these pieces fit together. Our students have benefited from our master schedule, where offerings are so widespread that conflicts can be avoided for singleton courses. I could tell you firsthand that our approach to multiple campuses is currently working. We have strengthened the connection between campuses, and as one school, we can continue to offer students what many other places simply cannot. Our academic performance along all subgroups, including English learners and students with disabilities, is on the rise. We have been recognized for our participation in achievement and in advanced courses along the lines of race and gender. Our work is not done, and we can always improve. I ask you to allow us to continue that work and progress by voting to keep TC as one connected high school, where we can create even more pathways through articulation with elementary and middle school programming. As principal, I can say that anyone in my position would say yes, they would love to be in charge of a small high school. But we have created an administrative structure that is connected and working. We have smaller learning communities using teams and academies. We have found a formula that works for our unique city. Voting for one high school will allow us to continue on our path toward success and equity for all students. I strongly encourage you to support our diversity as one of our greatest strengths. Our Titans experience diversity unmatched anywhere in this country, and they leave TC stronger because of it. Voting for two high schools would lead us down a path of divisive battles over boundary drawing. This process would lead to an inherent inequity between the two schools, and undoubtedly leaving certain groups facing even deeper levels of being disenfranchised. This may not be apparent right away, but over time, these inequities will grow deeper and come to change and define our city. I urge you to continue to oppose the separatist ideals that are associated so publicly with the name of our high school by voting to keep us connected. Separation may be in our school's name, but you can oppose it by voting to keep us together. It's no irony that TC's theme this year is TC United. While it wasn't meant to be a slogan to ask you to support one high school, it represents the progress we've made to show our strength in numbers and unity. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lorraine Johnson, and I'm a junior at T.C. Williams High School. At TC, I am the type of student that is involved in many organizations around the school, one of them being a participant in the new student group exploring the high school project. Walking into that meeting made me feel so proud as I saw students from all walks of life, white, black, Hispanic, Africans, it's everybody. Since we knew that the school was overcrowded, we know that we needed to do something about it. So our conversation naturally started with the conversation of creating a second high school. Then I began to express my thoughts about the connected high school and how it would solve our problems while taking every student's learning experience to a whole nother level. An in-depth conversation began about the endless possibilities that the expanded campus would create for all students. We spent the rest of the time talking about ways to overcome obstacles, identify alternate pathways, and started moving forward with the plan, and we never looked back. A few weeks later, I attended the community meeting for the high school project. Walking into this meeting, I did not get the same vibes of unity that I experienced with my peers at T.C. Williams. To my surprise, not only was the option of two high schools still on the table, but in an Alexandria City community meeting, all I saw were different versions of the same type of parent. As the discussion began, the group immediately started talking about their individual child's needs and how they wanted to ensure that their child got into this new program. They wanted to talk about the criteria and prerequisites that are needed to be established to ensure that their kids get into this brand new school. These responses came off really egotistic and egocentric and sounded like nothing of the world of possibilities that we talked about in the student meeting. This group of parents spent so much time debating for the logistics of this new school for their individual child that they didn't really touch the surface of possibilities that could be met for all children within Alexandria. The student-based meeting mirrored the diversity that makes up the great student body of T.C. Williams, and unlike the adults, these students saw the bigger picture. They saw opportunities, they saw pathways, they saw possibilities, they saw that next generation flourishing in the connected high school.
My name is Kamari Brown, and I'm a junior at T.C. Williams. I live right behind the school in Woods Place. Besides being the community group that was very local in the conversations about the T.C. Lights, I am also the product of a community of my family that fought for years to maintain their homes during a time when racial tensions were high and blacks were being pushed out their communities in an effort to maintain inequity and segregation. I carry the pride of my community with me as I walk through T.C. Williams halls. As I see diversity, respect, acceptance, and oneness that makes us all Titans, I understand why is it so difficult to imagine an Alexandria divided. That conversation is always difficult because separating us is not just an act of creating space. Building two schools is an act of separation. The Connected High School model proves a solution in which we continue to embrace our diversity. A solution that permits us to continue to celebrate the Titan pride that makes us unique, to acknowledge the dreams of each individual at our school, and allows us to avoid the conversations that lead to inequity and separation. The number of challenges that a second high school brings can almost be addressed in a positive way, as we consider real-world options that provide students with experiences, not just classes, that will actually place us at an advantage as we move into the world of higher education. I have a question to the board as why to dismiss an option that allows us to maintain our rich history, protect our diversity, and validate all that makes us unique and proud Titans. For a building that really offers nothing new, just smaller, newer version of things that separate us. The real question that I want you guys to ponder on as you vote for the future of my classmates and siblings is if the adults that claim to be speaking on behalf of their children needs have already been successful in maintaining segregation and equity within one of our middle school buildings, what do you think they're going to try to do with two buildings? If you think this push to create a school of walls as opposed to creating an avenue of opportunities has to do with something other than keeping the status quo, no offense, but you are just backward thinking as the parents flooding you with emails. And by the way, when you try to argue that your 14 through 18-year-old can't imagine getting on ACPS bus probably no more than once and twice a day a week, ask yourself how many of them get into Ubers at all times of the night.
Hello, my name is Rebecca Lamar, and I am a senior at T.C. Williams. I recently went to Berkeley University in California for an engineering program where I was exposed to all fields of engineering. Before my senior year, I decided that I wanted to major in computer science. However, my experience in this program made me realize that engineering is not what I wanted to do in the future. After being exposed and making connections with more opportunities outside and inside the walls of T.C. Williams, I have come to really enjoy music. So I put my experience of technology and my love for music to choose a final major of music technology. If I had not been exposed to these new experiences beyond a traditional high school, I would be choosing a career that I did not fully enjoy. A connected high school would open opportunities for so many more students like myself. So when you are making your decision, you are not making the decision for my future and current TC students today. You are planning the future for Nathaniel, Dirity, Paulina.
I'm the class of 25 future.
Selena, Kyle.
This is my future, class of 2028.
And Kylie Moore.
I am the future, class of 2013.
2031. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, my name is Michaela Pozo. I am a senior at T.C. Williams High School. I am the founder and lead coordinator of Operation Integration, a student-led organization advocating for education justice and immigrant rights. I'm here to voice my concerns and advocate for option B of the One High School model. I support option B of the One High School model for the following reasons. Option B ensures that there is a greater range of classes available for all students. On the other hand, the Two High School model creates not only a physical separation between the students based on the type of class, but also on the level of challenge of the class. Historically, we have seen that STEM-based classes are predominantly male and white. And because of that, I am concerned that if we have two schools that are de facto segregated based on race and class, this will cause more educational inequity. In fact, this segregation of classes is supported by some of the research that Alex Espinoza, my lead research coordinator for Operation Integration, conducted as her educational achievement as part of her AP research dissertation last year, where she surveyed 214 students at the school. Out of the 214 students, 58 were Hispanic, and out of the 58, only 7 will take 7 to 10 classes throughout their whole high school career, AP classes, and only 1 will take more than 10. Similarly, only 7 out of the 61 African American students that she surveyed will take 6 to 10 AP classes, and only 1 will take more than 10. On the other hand, out of the 87 white students she surveyed, 33 said that they will take 6 to 10 AP classes, and 17 will take more than 10. Essentially, for both the Hispanic and African American students populations polled, only 13% will take 6 to 10 or more APs throughout their whole high school career. In comparison, 57 of the white students polled will take more than 6 to 10 and more than that AP classes. The reason why I say this is not is to show that there's already inequities in TC Williams. And I mean, in fact, I have the personal experience of being in an AP research class of 21 students where I'm 1 in 4 of them of color. And this is true for the rest of my 6 AP classes that I take. Right now, we are already facing inequalities at the middle schools, where one is predominantly white and the other is of color. TC is essentially the only place where students are able to potentially interact with people different from them with different social, racial, socioeconomic, and cultural backgrounds before they go off to college. So we are kind of robbing them the opportunity to interact with these students by creating 2 high schools that will ultimately be segregated. So having one school will give us the power to combat these inequalities. However, if we have 2 different high schools, it will make it easier to ignore the problem, and it will make it harder to address these issues, since we will need to address inequalities at not only 1, but 2 high schools. Thank you.